It's been a long 4 months without fantasy hockey, but don't worry, because the Brett Gordon Cup Draft Lottery starts right now.
Fantasy hockey fans from around the world, welcome back to the Roofball Memorial Arena, our host of the 4th annual BGC Draft Lottery. I'm your host, The Insider. Alongside me and backed by popular demand and the demand of his team of lawyers, the Puck Hog.
This little piggy wants to draft.
Puck Hog, in the summer you were fired and then rehired. Tell us a little bit about what happened there.
You told the whole story, Mike.
Name's not Mike, I'm the Insider, but let's move on with the draft today. We're all so excited to see who's going to be picking where, who's going to get the first pick, who's going to get the last pick, and who's going to fall in the middle. It's going to be a great day for fantasy hockey drafts.
Who's going to get a pick in the middle?
But before we start that, let's discuss a few of the new rules and GMs coming into the league this year. We have a showdown between Steve Bajoni and Matt McParland for a place in the BGC draft. Steve Bajoni, a brother of one of the BGC champions, Brian Bajoni. Will that give him some clout? I'm not sure. And Matt McParland, roommate of the disgraced Tom McCall, Anders Lee dropping Firestorm 2 seasons ago, but he also has a chance to make it in today because it's a random draw. Whoever's name is pulled first out of the cards will not be a part of the BGC this season, and the other GM can celebrate a place in the world's greatest fantasy hockey league. Are you excited for this, Puck Hog?
Will Steve have to leave, or will Matt be back?
Well,
he hasn't been in the league yet, but will he be back next year after being in it this year if Steve has to leave?
A lot of excitement going on with who's going to be in the BGC this year. A few GMs dropped out, but we don't have time for bums like that who don't want to be in the league. It's about who's competing this year. So let's get right into the draft format. Like last year, there will be 2 decks of cards, one with a draft position and the other with the team name. First, my man, the Puck Hog, will draft the draft position from the cards, and then I will reveal the team who is picking there. A lot at stake with these positions, a lot at stake. A lot of GMs will be anxiously waiting to see who they're going to pick and where they're going to pick. So, I think we should get right to it. Let's announce the first draft position in the 4th annual BGC.
It's been a long season, a longer off season, and now we're diving in to the draft pool. Swimming up is number 12.
That's a 12. Let's try and get that out a little quicker. People at home are spending a lot of time watching this video. Okay, number 12 in the BGC draft. This is very exciting. The first draft selection is 12, and the first GM to learn their fate, the McMaple Leafs. Thomas McCall of the McMaple Leafs. This is a GM who early on in the BGC was considered a power player, ripping general managers off left, right, and center like an old used car salesman, but now has seemed to fallen out of favor with the fantasy hockey gods. What do you see coming for the McMaple Leafs this year?
Out of the basement and into the attic.
Well, there's a lot at stake for the McMaple Leafs to get his name back in the top rankings of teams in the BGC. Let's move on now to the next pick.
The next pick in the... Oh!
My goodness, my goodness.
Number 2, you can taste the number 1.
My goodness, that is an exciting draft position.
The Hog picked 2 last year.
Now, how'd that work out for the Hog?
Let's draft.
All right, drafting 2nd overall in the BGC this year. My goodness, a controversial general manager right at the top of the pecking order. Check out my new twig, Simon McCall. This is a general manager people cannot stop talking about. He famously quit last year citing what he felt were political reasons stemming mostly from the commissioner and world heroes who he thought were nefariously trying to run the league behind everybody's back. He's called people out. He's called people names. He's vicious, but he's got a point. He considers himself a man of the people. I really think he's just a man of the presses, kind of like a certain man running for president of the United States. What do you think?
Hillary Clinton is not a man.
Well, no, he's not, but check out my new twig, sure is. And he's picking number 2. It's a great spot for him. I'm sure he'll be excited about it. Let's just hope he manages to keep himself in the league. All right, next pick.
Okay, up next, after check out my new twig, the only GM stick I've ever seen, number 8.
Well, it's not entirely true, the last point, but let's move on to who's picking 8th in the BGC this season. 8th. Good spot to be in. And this is a tough break for Matt McParland because the Matt McParland card has been drawn and he will not be in the BGC this tournament. Matt and all your loved ones, we send our most sincere condolences. It's hard to find the words in a time like this. It's hard for some people to find any words at all, apparently.
Hog's got a few words.
All right.
Matt was almost in the league. Now he isn't in the league. He still lives with Tom, or does he?
Well, he does not, but don't pick a number yet. Don't pick a number yet because we still got to find out who's picking 8th.
Let's find out who's number 8.
Just keep your hands on your side of the cards.
Hog's getting a little hog-tied.
Hog's getting testy. Okay, who will actually be picking 8th now in the Brett Gordon Cup? World Heroes. World Heroes picking 8th overall, and I think their entire management team, which now consists of 3, will be smiling ear to ear. This is a spot they wanted to be in, and I think they're going to be really happy with who's available at number 8. World Heroes, really successful year last year. Unfortunately got bounced in the first round, but they had one of the best drafts, I think, in BGC history with John Klingberg, Mike Hoffman, Johnny Gaudreau, John Carlson, and many more. I think they will be really confident going into this year. What are your thoughts on the World Heroes?
World Heroes is a really big organization. You've got really big guys. You've got lots of them. They make a lot of noise. They're well hated, and they well draft. Draft well.
Well, they're excited.
Next up.
They're excited because they've brought Kevin Erskine-Smith in now as a senior advisor to the team, who's sadly no longer in the league official position, but it's going to be a good year for the World Heroes. They're confident.
It's a strong signing. Another number that no one really cares about, 13.
13, continuing with the theme of this not being very exciting to watch. All right, number 13 in the BGC belongs to Cox's Crazy Carnival. Thank God he's not picking first overall again. He's picking in the middle. I think it's about time someone else had a chance at Alexander Ovechkin. But at 13, it's tough in the middle, but he's a savvy general manager who does his research, and I'm sure he'll be ready to pick in that position. Cox's Crazy Carnival, your thoughts on an interesting team?
Like sleeping with mom and dad, it can be fun in the middle. Let's see the next number we pull up, and it's a 9 with a line.
Hog picks 9.
Wait.
All right. That's a 6. 6. Hog picks 6. Hog, you'll draft the cards, and I'll look at them, and we'll figure out a better system moving forward. All right, who's going to be picking 6th in the
With a line.
Who's going to be picking 6th overall in the BGC? We're going to find out right now. The Ninjas. Aiden McClory of the Ninjas with a prime position at number 6. I don't expect much from him this year.
Up next, we've got number 4.
These big numbers are coming hot and heavy. There's a lot of GMs who are going to want to hear their names picked now. Otherwise, fate could put them at the end of the draft. And cards. The Downtown Dandies, 4th, 2 years in a row for a Downtown Dandies team, picking high in the draft, picking 2nd last year, but struggling to live up to the expectations. They had some tough breaks with Sidney Crosby and Tyler Johnson not performing to the levels they're used to, but this year we will want to see a renewed effort from the Dandies. What are your thoughts on the downtown Dandies?
Love the Dandies. Love the organization. Love the way they look in the shower.
Now, do you think the downtown Dandies are going to be happy with their position in the draft?
I think it opens up to a lot of great picks.
All right,
You could have Connor McDavid.
You could have Connor McDavid. There's a lot to pick from. There's a lot for the Dandies to think about, but we'll see how they do this year after a tough performance, but I think they're ready for a comeback. All right.
Next number. 15. Number 15.
Number 15 in the draft, late pick. We'll see who's picking there, though. 15. The Wheelers.
Ooh.
Tyler John of the Wheelers picking 15th. This is a confident general manager. He is not afraid to call people out who he perceives to have small wangs.
Small wangs.
All right, yes, so this GM, will he be able to take that small wang commentary into the draft and have a successful draft?
Sometimes having a small wang's fine.
Depends on what your profession is.
Now, and how it impacts your draft order. If you're drafting fourths, doesn't matter.
The Wheelers.
Anything else to say about the Wheelers?
Well, they've never made the playoffs, so we're starting to think about who's got the small fantasy wang. All right, let's go.
Fantasy wang. It's a 9 with a line.
That's number 9.
Right
number
on.
9 in the Brett Gordon Cup. Not a spot you want to be in because World Heroes are going to be taking some good players right before you all draft. Rival of the World Heroes, Potash's Mongees. Potash's Mongees picking 9th. Sasha, he's got a great head of hair. He's a good-looking guy overall. He seems very casual in talking to women, but we've only seen a year from him in the BGC, so what to expect?
Where did they place last year?
He made the playoffs. He was actually unfortunately eliminated on a tiebreaker rule in the playoffs. He was adamant that the tiebreaker rule was all wrong, but he had a good year, but that's a small sample size. A lot of questions surrounding Potash's Mongees this year. I'm sure the volume in his hair will remain, but will that playoff spot?
Up next, we've got 17, near the bottom.
17, one spot off the bottom pick in the draft. 17, a lot of GMs still waiting to hear their name
You
called.
get a couple back-to-back picks, though, when you're getting that deep.
Not exactly back-to-back picks.
Very close.
Not exactly back-to-back picks.
But
You
very
said
close.
back-to-back picks. Blake's superb team, 17th in the draft. Blake's superb team, Blake Harvey, the current champion of the BGC. This general manager has been through a lot in his career. People were putting him down, calling him names, saying, Blake, you're an idiot. Blake, you're a bozo. Blake, don't make that trade. Blake, don't make that trade with Tom McColl. But he's earned himself
You, Blake!
an incredible reprieve, and now has to be considered one of the great champions in the history of the BGC. He might go down as a Hall of Famer. He's had 2 successful teams back-to-back. Last year, he had a stud lineup of Joe Thornton, Dylan Larkin, Shane Gostisbehere, Robbie Fabry, Brent Burns, and Braden Holtby in net.
Incredible draft, incredible premonition, great pickups, great guy.
And he's right over there with his dog. All right, next pick.
Okay, now we're talking about his next-door neighbor, number 18, right in the bottom of the draft. Now, would you disagree that this one's back-to-back?
This one is absolutely back-to-back, but I will not give you an inch on the last comment you made.
Well,
Now,
they're both back-to-back.
Let's find out who's picking 18th. Steve Bajoni, the man who escaped the cutoff and is now in the BGC. Somewhat, sort of poetically picking 18th at the bottom of the pack, as he should be, since this is his first year here. Steve Bajoni, brother of Brian Bajoni.
Champion breed, the Bajonis in the BGC.
Brian Bajoni, what a stud, producing other great mares such as Steve. All right, now let's take a brief break from the drafting to get to the Twitter questions we've been taking in for the Puck Hog. People from all over Twitter, all over the world, have been writing in their questions with the hashtag #TalkinHog. And some questions for the Puck Hog they'd love to hear you answer.
Welcome to the section for Talkin' Hog. All over the world, they send in tweet. You've already read that part.
I've already read that
Let's
part.
go.
All right, well, let's have the first question here. It's from Martha from North Carolina.
Thank you, Martha.
Martha asks, Puck Hog, what's your favorite meal, Puck Hog? I'd love to eat it too.
Great question, Martha. The Hog loves to chow down during draft time and afterwards while the regular season's in full swing on a plate of potatoes. Full plate. Martha, come on by the Hog's house. The HH Hog House for a plate of potatoes at my place. North Carolina's probably a long trip. I will not split the bus fare with you.
All right, let's move on. We've got
No more questions.
we've got Ryan from the UK who asks, hey, Puck Hog,
Good day.
if you were to meet the Puck Hog yourself, what would you ask him?
Great question, Ryan. I surrounded my home and walls with mirrors, and I have that question answered to myself every day. Good morning. How are you doing, Hog? Not bad, Hog. How are you doing? Ready to draft? Nope, it's not draft season. Better go back to bed then.
And all right, we're going to read one more lucky write-in from Namibia. This is Eric. Eric from Namibia asks, hey, Puck Hog,
Hi.
are you and the insider just as close off camera?
No. Okay.
No, Eric, we are not. Now, let's move on with the draft.
Hog's invited the insider in twice. Twice to the Hog House, surrounded by mirrors for a plate of potatoes. Twice he accepted and did not finish his potatoes. Number 5 in the draft.
Number 5 in the draft, a good spot.
Right after
People
the Hog.
will be crossing their fingers to pick here. Chalupa Batman. Chalupa Batman drafting 5th in the BGC draft. A lot of questions surrounding the interest level in this general manager. We tried to probe it last year if this is an interesting general manager, but we never figured it out. And after some thorough off-season detective work, we're working on it.
He's a very interesting general manager.
Well, we're still working on it. All right, next pick.
He had a great season last year.
He made the playoffs.
That's a pretty good season to the Hog. And now he's number 5, following the Hog like a farmer. Number 14 is up next.
Number 14 in the Brett Gordon Cup. This is a tough position to be in, but there's still going to be a great available player here. The first round's deeper than ever this year. You could wind up with a Joe Pavelski, a Claude Giroux, or any number of great players, so you never know what's going to happen. So you can't be too disappointed with picking late. And let's find out who's picking 14th. Kelly and Borno. Kelly and Borno
Team
picking
yet to be named.
yet to be named team. Next pick.
No more comments on it. It's a double.
It's hard when the team is yet to be named to make up a contextual backstory for me to discuss using my analysis. So, no name, no analysis.
Understand.
You've learned your
that.
lesson.
Understand that. Straight from the Hog. Number 1 twice.
Number 1 twice is
Two
11.
ones.
Number 1 twice is 11 for those watching at home.
Okay.
The Lee Street Tickler at 11.
Whew.
11 for the Lee Street Tickler. I've spoken to Lee Street Tickler quite a bit about the draft, and I'm not sure his thoughts on this position, but I think he's going to be fairly happy. He's going to get a really good player in this spot. There's so much talent this year that I think a top 5 player is going to be available at 11, possibly at least, and he should be pleased about this, and you know he's going to be doing his research. You know he's going to be looking at the numbers. The Lee Street Tickler, what do you think?
He loves researching. He loves numbers. Up next, the Hog pulls 10.
10. Hog picks 10. Okay. Picking 10th in the BGC draft will be the Naznatos. The Naznatos, Trevor Rowley, picking 10th. It's a family show, so I won't explain the team name, but all I have to say is the Naznatos finished dead last season in the BGC, and they will be hoping to improve on that this year. Let's see if they can. It's a 1-year sample size, so we don't want to make too big of a judgment on this organization, but they are holding the Gary Keith Award as we speak, and they will be keen to impress this year. What do you think?
Offensive team name, offensive finish, and no offense.
Well, they did suffer some bad luck with Carey Price getting injured and a few other critical injuries last season. So let's see what can happen for them this year, and all the best to the Nationados.
Up next, we've got number 7.
Neighbor of World Heroes, always a dreaded position because World Heroes are scooping up the top players. But picking number 7 will be Blades of Steel. Mark Mead, Blades of Steel. This is a general manager with a deep history in fantasy hockey. He's taken some criticism for his laissez-faire approach to league social activity, but he's a savvy general manager who knows his hockey and is ready to compete. So I think he deserves more respect around the league. Not every general manager can be an absolute psychopath, madman, hell-bent on ruining his own life and the lives of the rest of the general managers in the league. But we do embrace the few who are, but we can't all be that way, and I think Mark Mead's a breath of fresh air to the league. And your thoughts?
Ruin your life, Mark. Join the group. Here we go. Oh! Hog pulls one out of the hat.
When the hog pulls one,
You're gonna have
the
fun.
the joking is done. Hog has picked one. That's the first overall pick in the BGC draft. Some call it the Ovechkin pick. Will that stay the same this year? We'll see. But this is very exciting. Who is picking first overall in the Brett Gordon Cup? It's one of the great honors that I've not been able to experience in my life, and I know I won't be tonight as a member of the World Heroes. Some of you may not know that. But who is picking number 1 in the BGC? And it's not like he needed any more help. Big Tony's Beauties. Ryan Bajoni of the Big Tony's Beauties picking first overall. He's had Ovechkin before, and I think he'll be excited to pick him again. This is just arguably the greatest general manager in BGC history. So many top performances, so many great teams. He's got a championship. He's got a runners-up medal. He performs every season. He doesn't really work too hard at it, like some of us. Spend all of our time looking at the players. Doesn't look all the time, but he manages to succeed anyways. Your thoughts on the Big Tony's Beauties picking first?
Big Tony's now got another little Tony join the league. He's going to look up to his big bro who slammed home some big wins, and now he's making a big pick. Number 1 out of the basket. Let's give him a call and tell him the good news. Now, Big Tony's Beauties, unlike a lot of BGC members, has a phone plan that covers unlimited weekend minutes. Let's give him a call.
Let's hope we can get him on the line.
Nick.
Mr. Brian Bajoni, you're live on the BGC draft. How are ya?
Holy shit, this is unreal. I'm on my lake fishing, though. I don't even know if I'm going to have reception enough for this.
Oh, we're hearing you loud and clear right now.
You sound terrific, and you're about to sound even better because we've got some exciting news for you.
Oh, my God. This is incredible.
Mr. Brian Bajoni, we are proud to announce to you right now that you will be picking first overall in the 4th ever BGC draft. Congratulations.
Right on. Yes.
How does it
fantastic.
How does it feel? How does it feel?
I got to say, I'm pretty taken aback. I've had a lot of luck in this league so far, and, I think just my determination is really paying off. So I think I've had this coming for a while, if I have to be honest.
All right, Brian, and do you think this could be what triggers your first time ever for someone to win their second BGC championship?
It's just hard to say, but I'd say I'm a lock, yes.
And I just got to ask right now, are you at your parents' cottage? Is Freddie around? Is the whole family around to celebrate with you?
You know what? I'm actually out in the boat right now, but I'm sure they heard me yelling from the lake.
Brian, I'd love to give you another piece of exciting news that we found out during the course of today's draft. Have you ever been in the same league as your brother?
Oh my goodness.
Yes, because Steve Bajoni was the winner of the draw, and he's joined the league with us. So it's a great day for the entire Bajoni family, and I'm sure it's one they'll never forget.
Brian, you caught a big number one. Go catch yourself a big bass or a seahorse and just fish your heart out and then just don't worry about anything ever again.
You know what? I couldn't. You took the words. What cares for this guy?
Yeah. Well, congratulations. Give your dad a kiss and your mom a hug.
Or the other way around, depending on your relationship with them. All right, see you later, Brian.
Okay.
Hell of a champion. Hell of a champion.
Congrats again.
A real superstar, excellent class act, and you saw it, you heard it here first. He's calling a lock. He's calling a lock on the win.
Well, that was sure exciting. What a moment for Brian Bajoni. Put the card down, please. I'm not done. What a moment for Brian Bajoni picking first overall. He's already got a BGC championship. He's had so many great teams. His brother's joining him. It's amazing what the BGC can do for the lives of regular people. Now, let's move on to the next pick. Sorry. Go ahead.
16. So I have a thing that I do.
Well,
I call the numbers out.
Were you going to say Lucky 16?
Lucky 16. I did, and I was going to.
Very
Thank
good,
you.
Puck Hog. All right, who's going to be picking in the Lucky 16 spot? Let's find out right now. The Hot Hockey Men. Another late draft pick for the Hot Hockey Men. This guy's got a very sexy team. He manages to pull the sexiest guys out late in the draft, it appears, and he's always usually got a strong team. The commissioner, in fact, is a notable general manager with a great history of some really great picks. He's got a savvy hockey mind, but he's got a lot to contend with because he's not just a general manager like the rest of us. He's also the commissioner. How does that affect his ability to manage his team?
I imagine it puts a lot of pressure on him, particularly when certain GMs rejoin the league and certainly try to take him down.
Well, you know, it's going to be exciting to see what Simon McColl says about him this year. It's not going to be nice. It's going to be over the line. It's going to be sort of generally what might be considered hate speech. And it's going to be amazing. I mean, I think it's the big storyline going into the year, how these two are going to interact together in the same league. I know Simon seems to think that the commish is some sort of vendetta against the rest. I'm not sure. I'm going on because I just get so muddled up when I think about the rivalry here.
There's a lot of rivalry going on between those two fellas.
All I'll say is good luck, commish at 16. Go Blackhawks.
We've got the last pick, and we're drawing this draw to a close. Anything else you wanted to add about any of the players that we sort of skipped over early on?
But some of the general managers that we skipped over? Nope.
Aiden, nice guy.
Aiden is a nice guy.
But if you bench your players, you're not going to get a
analysis segment.
Here we go. I'm sure you... Whoa! I forgot this was such a good number. Number 3, remaining for the only team not to be called, and that team is...
And luckily for the suspense of my own enjoyment of what's happening, I don't remember who's not been called. So let's find out who's going to be picking 3rd overall. It's the last pick to be selected in the Brett Gordon Cup. Picking 3rd overall, Dry Island. How could we forget Jamie Dickey and Dry Island? Just one of the more beloved general managers in the league. He's a fun guy. He's easy to trade with. He's always down to watch a game and have a beer. But he's also a savvy hockey mind who's missed the playoffs 2 years in a row, and he won't be happy about that. What are your thoughts on Dry Island?
Great guy, great team, great pick position.
He's in a good spot here. Let's just hope he doesn't trade it away to World Heroes before the whole draft starts. Okay, well, thank you, everybody. We are now at the end. We have decided the draft position. A lot of excitement took place. A lot being generous, but I think we all had a great time today. It was a pleasure to sit alongside the Puck Hog. So now, before we finish, as we always do, let's get hog-tied up with Hog Wild and the Puck Hog's preview for the year.
Get your hog hat on, jump into the mud, roll around, and cover yourself in excrement, because it's Hogtown Hog Time. This year's gonna be a big one.
Thanks, Puck Hog, for your great analysis again. Thanks to our incredible crew, Dylan O'Donnell, Joel Harvey, for making this whole thing possible. Thank you to Roland Ruchis and the City of Toronto and Beaches Rec Center for facilitating this shoot. Yeah, we'll cut that. I don't know if this is okay, actually. But thank you to everyone at home and around the world who watched today and enjoyed the BGC draft lottery video. We're so excited to draft. We're so excited for the season. And remember to always
Draft.
draft hockey players.